Today, I stand before you as I delve into a subject, the integrate relationship between culture and mindset. Both culture and mindset have a profound impact not only on our lives, our community, but the society at large. Believe it or not, even before an individual is born, culture influences the mindset. As per the Indian philosophy, every individual is born with certain inclinations called sanskar. All of us know that during the period when the child is in the mother's womb, he or she actually learns the values, whatever his family is going through. The next most important is the family culture, which influences his sanskars. In Hinduism, each individual's life is divided into 4 stages. The first one is brahmacharya. So brahmacharya ashram is what we know as student's life. These are the formative years where every student actually learns how to have discipline in life. He or she understands what practical skills are to be acquired and also what are the societal norms. Through self-restraint, he or she understands that how one can really achieve the best in life but do not compromise on ethics. This was actually realized by our Hindu mythology centuries and centuries ago, and that's the reason we have these gurukuls. These gurukuls were established not within the cities but closer to the nature. Even the royal families, kings, everyone used to send their children to ensure that they instill the right mindset and values. It was only when these foreign invaders and the British ruled, they destroyed our gurukuls and we lost pride in our heritage and culture. The next most important stage is the Grihastha ashram, where every individual has to be successful in his life and also acquire wealth and make sure that he or she does not deviate from the societal norms. Which are the most influencing factors during Grihastha ashram? It's the corporate organization and its colleagues. You take example of different cultures, be it US organizations, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, all organizations actually encourage different cultures, which influences the mindset. So take example for Google. They encourage innovation, growth. Take example for Japanese. They encourage teamwork. They encourage focus on quality. China, of course, they have their different success stories. But today, India, I would say, is now witnessing the highest economic growth rate, due to which each individual is embracing change. Today, our culture is encouraging innovation, growth, and our mindset is actually influenced by this, and we are progressing every day, every hour towards growth. When we move from Grihastha ashram, the next 2 are Vanprasth and Sannyas ashrams. Today, because of the competitive environment and the lure towards wealth, most of our lives are not witnessing these life cycles anymore. But do we realize that the most, I would say, countries where the happiness index is the highest, like Finland, Denmark, they're not the most successful countries. On the other hand, we have a neighboring country like Bhutan. I think they are ranked around 95th on happiness index, where India is somewhere around 125th. So, material success is not only key to happiness. When we understand these are the 4 bases of life, I'm going to really take you through my own personal example. I was born in a joint Hindu family. Some of you are aware, I lost my father when I was just 7. So the only strength I had with me as a child was my family. You can imagine today in this environment, if you don't have a stable family to back you up, things can really become very challenging. But fortunately, I had the support of my family members. And during my entire school life, I had the influence of not only my school, which is St. Xavier's, again following the Christian missionary, but my school friends, my teachers, and my neighborhood. And the impact what each one of them still have on my life is enormous. So I call these years as the formative years, where the individual philosophy and attitude toward life is actually intact, even if, let's say, I turn 70 or 80. But how does one ensure that, okay, we pick up the best from our school friends? It's your own decision that who you want to be friends with. And I remember as a child, all my friends who were around me really wanted to be successful in life and were just focusing on two things: academics and sports. So we are trying to understand here that how exactly the formative years try and build up your personality over the next few years. After graduating from SRCC, we started this institution called JIMS. And you can't imagine, when I started this college, there were at least 50 to 100 friends of mine of different circles who literally used to laugh that what are you coming up with, because we had no history, no background. So I had two choices. One, listen to them, because you tend to get influenced by your friends, or listen to your inner voice. Initial years of JIMS were frankly of struggle, of challenges, and for the first 5 years, we were not sure whether we've taken the right decision or not. After 2000, and after seeing success of another 10 to 15 years, I somehow had a thought that, okay, now whatever we do, we'll be successful. And that's what life teaches you. I've never shared with any of my faculty and students earlier, but I had two failures in life. We were into real estate, as our traditional business was construction and real estate development. And I almost invested my 10 years of wealth into a real estate project which didn't do well. I had to blame everyone around me, but then I realized that, okay, these are few failures which teaches you how to think further and how to come back with something different, which would again make you successful. Then there was another project in school education. This was our first school which we launched in Ghaziabad, the biggest brand of Delhi, modern school. And due to certain external reasons, though no fault of ours, we could not do well. Though Ghaziabad city was waiting for this kind of a school which had the best infrastructure, one of the most beautiful campuses we had developed. And during those years, those were the toughest years, I'm talking between 2014 to 2018, everything around me was, I was losing my confidence that, okay, we are investing so much, but nothing is working out. But then again, in 2019, just before COVID happened, we invested into another school in Noida, St. Xavier's, which was perhaps the best location possible. And again, we reinforced energy, confidence, and belief that yes, if we have everything right, we can do it again. We are running this school very successfully, and perhaps we are known as one of the best schools there. Well, this is just what I wanted to share with each one of you to make you understand that both success and failures will come to your lives. COVID has taught us one thing, that nothing more important than your family is there in your life. I know so many individuals who could not face COVID just because they were alone. And whoever had a strong family backup could face COVID with much more comfort. Now, what do we have for each one of you to really take back from this session? Is it only the culture which influences the mindset? Or we also have any leaders which can build up the entire culture of a society or a country? Well, we have some wonderful leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, but one leader which really has impacted the culture of a country is the first founding Prime Minister of Singapore, as we call it, YKL, Yong, whatever is his full name, I don't remember. So he was the serving Prime Minister right from 1959 till 1990. And just imagine one individual influenced the culture of the entire country. India was just, I would say, 10 years ahead of Singapore. But today, in terms of independence, but today, Singapore is at least 10 years ahead of India. So tomorrow, you people can also influence not only your own family, your own children, but also your society and your organizations at large. Also, we need to remember that when we talk about Vanprastha ashram and Sannyas ashram, we feel that, we don't have anything to give back to the society. Maybe money is the only thing. But we realize that more important than money is your individual labor. We can give back to the nature, we can plant trees around us, we can educate children around us. And unless and until we really give back to the society, the Vanprastha and the Sannyas ashram objectives are not achieved. You people are just in your so-called student life would be entering into the Grihastha ashram. You have to remember that you are in the best phase of our country. By 2030, Indian economy, we are targeting to be reached around 5 trillion. You will get a whole lot of opportunities. Perhaps, I would say the best in the world. The US is facing recession. European countries are not doing that well. But not only you have to understand that yes, you have competition around you, but also you have an advantage in the entire world because you have the best brains, mathematical and technical brains. So each one of you has to make the best use of these opportunities in the next 5 to 6 years. Well, I just thought I'll share my brief life history and also make my students understand that every individual has a similar life cycle. How do we really impact the culture around us? It's in your hands. But remember one thing, that you have to believe in yourself, and you also have to take pride in our history, in Indian heritage, in Indian culture. And if together everything goes well, then I'm sure you're going to conquer the world. Thank you, each one of you.